Hi, I'm Bill Keefer. And, when I was growing up as a baby boomer, the United States was the greatest nation in the world. Today, it is crumbling from within. Now, here's the actor Jeff Daniels and what he has to say about America not being the greatest country in the world today, 2016. Please listen.
Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Diversity and opportunity.
Freedom and freedom.
Why is America
not the greatest country in the world, Professor? That's my answer.
You're saying...
Yes.
Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of our paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always? Hey, and with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom.
All right.
And yet you, sorority girl, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. And one of them is, there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Sure used to be. We stood up for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people. We sacrificed. We cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest. We built great big things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, and we cultivated the world's greatest artists and the world's greatest economy. We reached for the stars, acted like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior. We didn't identify ourselves by who we voted for in the last election, and we didn't scare so easy. We were able to be all these things and do all these things because we were informed by great men, men who were revered. First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore.
President Johnson declared the war on poverty.
Our aim is not only to relieve the symptom of poverty, but to cure it.
Kneebone says since then, some aspects of the problem have changed dramatically.
When we saw the launch of the war on poverty, the geography of poverty was very different than what we're looking at today. The bulk of poor people in the country lived in urban areas, in big cities, or in rural communities. And since that time, we've seen a real shift.
According to Kneebone, since 2000, the number of poor people living in suburbs has grown by 65%. For example, poverty is up by almost 16% in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, up more than 27% in the suburbs of Providence, up nearly 79% outside Seattle, and in the suburbs of Austin, Texas, the number of poor has swelled almost 143%. More poor people now live in America's suburbs than in cities or in rural areas. So many poor people, like Lee Scazzari, depend on their car. And car insurance and gas eat up about $600, more than 40% of the roughly $1,400 she takes home each month. And in case you're wondering, Scazzari's mom, who just turned 60, really isn't in a position to help. She's working 2 jobs to maintain the family home she inherited, and last year paid property taxes of around $7,000 on their small 2-bedroom home.
So why do you stay in this house and in this neighborhood if it's so expensive?
Because my mother is the only family that I have. This is her home. She said she'll never leave here. I can't force her to want to leave just because the cost of living is inexpensive someplace else.
We do put on our socks like the girls.
Scazzari says she's also gotten no help from the twins' father.
The child enforcement is trying to help me locate Dad. Before I even knew that I was pregnant with them,
Fourscore-and-7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here, dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain. That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom. And that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Hi there, I'm Bill Keefer. I do videos. I have over 14 YouTube channels covering many venues, music, restaurants, anything you can think of. I have over 2,000 videos on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Bill Keefer and I do voiceovers for business videos, television, audiobooks, movies, and I am a voiceover professional. Audiobook, voiceover, and readings. Ever heard the phrase, "I saw it on the radio"? Well, an audio message can stand alone and also complement your videos. Or if you would like a nice, soothing, calm voice for your audiobook productions, give me a call at 541-973-0906 or email me at bill0906@hotmail.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time.